Good afternoon and welcome back. We are here again with you to bring you the newest outrageous events that are hurting our country. Everything that is going on out there, and I present it in the hope that some people will want to stand up and do something about it. Join us in the fight against dishonesty, corruption, and messing of this country. Okay, so before we get on with the latest event, and no matter how outrageous what has happened and how I think we have hit the bottom, that isn't the case. There is always something that is worse than what happened before and worse than I expected. There is always something. It's just unbelievable. But anyway, before we get into that, let's do the station identification and then get on with it.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry to inform you that the station identification has been shut down at this time.
Why?
Yeah, we couldn't reach a compromise. We wanted to do it our way or the highway, and we couldn't do it our way, so we just said, okay, we're going to shut down the station identification.
Oh, really? Just like the government, right? But we still get not paid like we always are?
I haven't been paid. Oh, well. I'm not going to even say it. Not even going to touch that. Yeah, you're listening to the Medical Conspiracy on OrionTalkRadio.com and Micro1650.com, coming to you from under the chemtrail rainbow skies of Tonawanda, New York. And hello, everybody listening on Spreaker.com, TalkSuperstation.com, Shoutcast.com, and of course, everybody listening with the TuneIn app. With us, as always, is Barbara Hartwell, and Barbara's website is Barbara Hartwell versus CIA.blogspot.com. That's Barbara Hartwell vs CIA.blogspot.com. And you got your mic on, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here, Randy.
You
got so much
really
going
fun.
on, and it's really not a whole lot that we can talk about on air.
Not on the air, but I can say that if you go to my website, I have a report that was published about 4 days ago. And it's really relevant to what we do here and what has happened in my life and Dr. Carpenter's life and all of our lives. If we are whistleblowers or we're out there telling the truth. This report talks about how we are ostracized, we are blacklisted from everything, how even our own families will abandon us, not believe us when we're telling what has happened because we stood up against corruption in the government. So you can check it out. It's Barbara Hartwell versus CIA.blogspot.com.
Yeah, and people think that, oh, well, that doesn't concern me, and they go on with their life, and they put blinders on and think that as long as they stay quiet, they'll be okay. No, they won't.
Exactly. And that's what's in the report. I have a bunch of quotes, actually, in the report about silence, just famous quotes and maybe not so famous quotes about people that they think they have to be silent because they're afraid. And it shows what happens if they don't speak out. Please read it, anybody that's listening.
What happens is what is already happening. That's what.
Well, exactly.
Government shut down because money has been taken. Yeah. By whom and where, there is no record, but that's why. But of course, the government is shut down, but what is it? Congress is still getting paid. How does that work?
Well, yes. And you were shut down, Dr. Carpenter.
Well, yeah.
Your business was shut down. Your practice.
Yeah, but I was working and paying the bills by my own effort. That had nothing to do with the government.
Exactly. That's right.
And then they stepped in and closed it down because I'm not allowed to live.
Yep. Yeah.
And steal the money. Hey, that is my money. Oh no, this is not your money. You made it with this that treatment, so you can't.
Well, exactly. And if I get donations over the years, I haven't gotten much lately, but over the years I've gotten pretty steady, even very large donations from people who supported what I do. Okay, which is the same thing that you do, Dr. Carpenter, when we're out there informing people of the truth.
And actually, I never had any donation. Only I had people fighting and complaining about the cost of the
Exactly. But my point is that one way or another, you worked, okay? You worked and you earned a living. You got paid. Just as I worked and I earned a living because I got donations, okay? But here's the thing. Nobody considers, they'll say to me, these are the people close to me. Oh, you don't work. Oh, you don't support yourself. What was paying the bills all these many years if I didn't have money from something? Who was paying it? Right?
Right.
So this is the attitude. The attitude is if you are not a little worker bee, an employee of somebody, okay, to keep your mouth shut and just go to work every day. Oh no, we can't have this. You're a threat.
Right. But, in my case was the same thing. Oh, well, it's just so easy for you. Well, it's a lot of hard work to do the treatment. It was a lot of hard work. Anyway, but people had to always criticize, complain, and then it's the envy factor. It's just awful. And they don't realize what they are really doing. They don't realize what is really going on. They're being lied to by every section of the government, and people
that's right,
accept
Dr.
it.
Carpenter. And people would consider someone like you or someone like me who stands up and tells the truth and tries to do something and is doing something about it. We are a threat to them because they don't want to be associated with us. Oh no, we can't have that. Somebody might come after me now.
Right. Basically it. Yeah.
Dr. Carpenter or Barbara Hartwell that's out there screaming from the rooftops about the corruption of the government. Oh no, we're safe. We have to be safe here. We can't have any dealings with those people.
Right. Yeah. But that is nothing new. It's always happened throughout history,
Yes, it has.
And only after things change, people are recognized for what the good they did and everything. Only when that happened, if it happens, when that happened, then all of a sudden these people come out of the woodwork. Oh, I was always on your side.
Yeah,
I was always
right. Otherwise, they're like rats deserting a sinking ship.
Yeah, but there's still rats when they come out and say, "Oh, I was always on your side." Where were you when I needed you?
Hypocrisy, exactly.
Yeah. Jeez. It's always, I don't know what to tell you. You can't really change humanity. And if we don't get people involved in this, then things are only going to get worse. Remember that I talked about many times about compounding pharmacy being attacked by FDA, and then FDA telling them they had to recall their product and they have to refund the people that purchased it, just trying to ruin them financially, and everybody getting scared and abiding to what FDA was doing. Only one company, you recall, I told you, said, no, I am not recalling. I'm not recalling the product because they knew there was nothing wrong with it. Okay?
That's right.
And then when that happened, it came out that really FDA does not have the authority to close them down. It can scare them, but it doesn't have the authority.
Newsflash. They didn't have the authority to do what they did to you, but they did it, didn't they? They did it with guns and thugs.
No, they didn't come with guns in my case. They did for the Camelot, but not for me. There was only 2 policemen armed, but FDA was not armed.
Yeah, but still, they forced it, Dr. Carpenter.
Yeah, but they did ask me if I had weapons, which, that was none of their business.
Not any of their business.
Not in Oklahoma especially, in a lot of states, but Oklahoma especially was none of their business if I had guns.
Well,
and just so happened that I had it, but not there at home, not at the office.
They do what they can get away with. It's always
right. And see, but they do not have any authority.
No,
and if
don't.
you recall, a couple of weeks ago, I started talking, 2 weeks ago, and then again last week, I started talking about, please join me to all this compounding pharmacy. Join me, and let's do a class action suit against FDA because they don't have the authority to do what they did. Okay? What happened? This is a new article that says the House passes a bill to improve safety of drugs made by compounding pharmacies. How could the House pass a bill to improve safety? But anyway, the article is dated September 30th and says a bill meant to improve the safety of customized drug prepared by compounding pharmacy was passed on Saturday, September 28th by the U.S. House of Representatives. The legislation would improve, get this, okay, what the legislation does? The legislation would improve how drugs made by compounding pharmacy are tracked from production until they are sold.
Tracked, meaning
Tracked. Harassed.
what? What does
In
that
my
mean?
opinion,
Tracked.
that's what my opinion, they're tracked. From
Tracked.
production to where they're sold. Okay, and requires Food and Drug Administration to coordinate the safety oversight of the drugs with the state. See? Coordinate the safety oversight of the drugs with the state. Okay, what does that mean? Let me finish this, what else this article say, and then I'll tell you. But, okay, this bill is out, but compounding pharmacy could, listen, this is a jewel, could voluntarily register as outsourcing facility. Okay? If they did that, they would place them under FDA authority, which means that right now they are not under FDA authority. If the compounding pharmacies choose to remain traditional pharmacies, which they are, okay, they will continue to be watched mostly by state pharmacy board. Okay, so what it means is that they are pharmacy, and there is a state pharmacy board that oversees them, okay, not FDA. And only if they change the status from pharmacy to outsourcing facility, then the FDA comes in. Because when you start selling something, producing something for sale that is medical, then the FDA, or food, but in this case, drugs, FDA comes in. Which means that FDA has no authority to attack, harass, tell this pharmacy that they had to recall their product. They had no authority to do that. They did it. So now they're trying to bring in this bill that will impose some review, but it's only FDA working with the state, not attacking. They cannot do it, not attacking the pharmacies directly, you see? And so in order to eliminate that, but they can voluntarily be, okay, like saying, voluntarily join the Bolshevik system. Dictatorship.
Dr. Carpenter, it is absolute nonsense. There's nothing, they love that word, voluntary. Oh, it's voluntary.
And that's a voluntary like mafia, making an offer you can't refuse, a gun over your head.
Racket. It's voluntary. But if you don't pay, we'll break your kneecaps.
Right. It's just the same thing. Or you sign here, we put your brain there. Just like mafia, nothing different. Barbara, are you close enough to the microphone? I hear your voice distant.
I'm very close. Can you hear me now?
It's a little better, yeah.
Maybe Randy can check the levels to see if...
How about
the
you,
thing
Randy?
is, on my end, you both come in the same channel, so
Oh, really?
I have no way
hear
to.
her.
I have no way to separate the two of you.
Okay. All right. But anyway, what I was saying is this article tells you, the Congress is passing a bill trying to do something, but in reality, there is really nothing you can do because compounding pharmacy are not under the authority of FDA, which means that FDA did something illegal.
Of course they did, and we
they
knew
get
that.
away with it. And that's why I was saying, let's do a class action suit. Because they're violating the law, they're violating our rights, they are violating our right to work, and they're coming up with these stupid excuses that they decided that there is not enough safety assurance. Oh, please. It's just unbelievable. But this article tells you what the situation is, so why don't we stand up and scream? Yeah, they're trying to pass a bill to change things, which is so far that they can change it. That's why they're trying to say, well, maybe the pharmacy can voluntarily give up their rights, basically.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Carpenter, also that you mentioned before that every person, I don't know of any exceptions. Every person that's been just rousted and raided or just harassed by the FDA, and you've asked them, let's stand together, let's do something. The answer in every case was no.
Yeah, they won't do it. And my question is why? Why won't they do it? I just don't understand people, I mean, that is an obvious violation. Why won't they do it? Why won't they? Because if it's not just one person, they think, oh, my gosh, FDA is going to retaliate. Hey, if they're everybody against that have been harassed and their rights have been violated, if it's everybody, they cannot do it. They cannot intimidate everybody, and they can only intimidate you if you are afraid. If you're not afraid, they cannot intimidate you. I challenge the FDA.
You're right, Dr. Carpenter. I know you did. And the same is true of me. In any situation I've had these people from FBI and CIA over a course of many years making threats. And you know what my answer to every time is, screw you. Don't threaten me. You have something to say to me. Come to me like a man and talk to me. Say what you have to say. But they won't. They'll send an emissary. Okay? And guess what? In each case where I stood up to them, I'm law-abiding. They couldn't do a damn thing. They tried to get my website torn down, everything else.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Yes.
Oh, the radio show shut down.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
You could stop it.
Yeah.
Couldn't you?
It could
no,
happen.
I couldn't. Okay. I know. It's just unbelievable what is going on.
Because you know why? Because
Yeah.
most people, unfortunately, are intimidated by somebody with a badge and a gun or an official government position. And what they do not understand, which I have screamed in frustration for years, listen, they can't do it. If everybody stood up to them, or even if a few people stood up to them, it still sends a message. And when they're glaringly in the wrong and operating unlawfully, oftentimes, if the person is a high-profile target, if they don't have any way they can get in and do something, they're going to stand down. Not in every case, but you have to try.
If you are not doing anything wrong, you can stand up. And if it's only not just one person, but a whole group of people, there isn't much they can do. They have to step back. But people don't understand that. People are intimidated by everything. Like they are intimidated by the white coats.
Exactly.
Oh, the white coat, the doctor is knowledge. No, they are crooks like every other. They're just nothing more than cheap used car salesmen. They are. They're just as bad. Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Without naming who the person is, let me introduce an event of this week, okay? The person will recognize it, but we're not saying any names because we want to protect the innocent, even though they were misguided by the white coat, okay? There has been a flu around for a while, and beside the side effects, beside the problems standard of flu, whatever virus is around, bug, not necessarily in the category of flu, whatever, has caused the problems, and with different people, different problems. But one pretty much common side effect has been tremendous constipation, okay? In itself is not, it can lead to a serious situation if you let it go too far, but the point is that you don't have to let it go so far because there are remedies. Well, this particular individual didn't, and then decided that she should go to the hospital, and she did. Now, yeah, some advanced case might be on concern, but come on, people, going to the hospital for constipation. I mean, there are plenty of off-the-shelf product that can help you. But anyway, so she went to the hospital, and of course, she didn't get any immediate help. Oh, they hook you up to IV, they do all this and that, but really do not address the issue, okay? And they keep you in the hospital for days. And then when they finally address the issue, well, then you have to stay longer because you have to be stabilized. All sorts of malarkey, okay? And people being concerned because they don't see the end of that. And they also think about the mounting bills. So it's a financial issue that becomes a serious concern. And you wonder, why wouldn't the hospital find a solution to the problem like immediately? As soon as you check in, because there are products that they routinely use for people that come in for colonoscopies, surgery, x-ray. They have to clean up, if it's intestinal surgery, they have to clear up or they do a colonoscopy, that kind of, or other procedure, x-ray. They have to, really close. They have to clean up the area, so they have products that are pretty effective and pretty quickly. So why wouldn't they use to a patient that comes in with just a problem of constipation, whether it's constipation or you want to clean the intestine? It's the same chemical, it's the same product, it's the same process. So why don't they use it? They have ready available.
Real alternative radio. We are OrionTalkRadio.com.
At Orion Talk Radio, we're constantly working hard on your behalf. But the fight for freedom could not be fought without you. So we want to hear what you have to say at 888-272-4434.
Wow, I have never heard talk radio like this before.
Y'all got a really good thing going, and we really appreciate it here. We're from Alabama, and thank y'all so very, very much. Thank you.
Hi, guys. Good job and all. My name's Wayne from Alberta, Canada. Good work, guys.
I agree with your defense of the First Amendment, religion, speech, press, the right to assemble.
Hey, I think Orion Radio is spectacular and awesome.
Hey, I just wanted to call and tell you I'm a great supporter of your radio broadcast. Anyway, good to hear some refreshing information, very intelligent speech. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
At Orion Talk Radio, we're waiting for your call. 888-272-4434.
Okay, so we're back from the break, and before the break I was discussing the problem of somebody going to the hospital for an advanced case of constipation. But as I said, there were plenty of things that could have been done and now resort to the problem going to the hospital. But once you get to the hospital, you can do, before going to the hospital, many things. Some are ordinary maintenance for everyday problem, but some are for advanced problem, and one is vitamin B5, and as I said, the other one here is a chemical that goes by the common name because it is used in this product, the little Carter pills. I think everybody knows about the little Carter's pills, but if they don't, keep that in mind. It's a chemical contained in there and in other product like X-Lax Ultra, but once they go to the hospital, the hospital knows. They use those products. They use the chemical in the little Carter pills. They use that, and it works very fast, and it's very effective. As I said, they use it all the time when they want to clean up the intestine for whatever procedure they need to do. Why don't they use it? Why somebody, like in this case, why didn't they use it? Because of money. They make a lot more money keeping dancing around the issue, hooking up the patient to IVs and all that nonsense. It's better because they make more money that way. And the hospital.
Well, Dr. Carpenter, I have no knowledge anymore of what hospitals do because I avoid them like the plague, like I said.
Right.
But how much is a hospital room per day? Isn't it like something like $500 a day or something or more?
At least it's going to be that. And if somebody has no insurance, is in serious troubles. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
They do that for money.
Every piece of equipment in that hospital room is on a rental from some such and such associates.
Painkillers are $50 a tablet.
What?
Yeah. If they give you something,
I truly
that
don't
costs
understand.
just a few dollars. Yeah. I don't understand why people voluntarily go to the hospital, first of all.
No, I
Unless
don't.
they're having a heart attack, I don't see how. Yeah.
No. And because of just in my general, without going into specifics, I have many, many issues that are connected to my health and general disability and all that. And I know, just from knowing people, that, and I don't even talk about these things. I just deal with them the best I can. I don't go to a hospital unless it would be an extreme life-threatening emergency and I had no choice. But you know that I've heard people talking about I'm going to go to the hospital for this or that, and I'm just silent, thinking to myself, you think that's something? I wish I could tell you what I go through, and I managed to deal with it somehow, okay? And yet they go in there, and just like what you said, they're in there for days, or they're checked out and then released, and huge amounts of money have been spent.
And they haven't really been helped.
They haven't been helped. That's right.
I had a patient years ago that had an advanced case of cancer. I did kill the cancer, but, it had a lot of vasculature going to the dead tumor, so the blood was spilling, so they were bleeding like crazy. Okay, they went to the hospital. You think the hospital did anything? No. They let the guy bleed. Okay, till his brother intervened and put a stop to the bleeding. But then, by that time...
They just let him bleed.
Yeah, because then they can give him a transfusion.
Oh, yeah, that costs money, too.
A lot of money.
Dr. Carpenter, I think I mentioned this once, quite a long time ago. It was this incident happened many years ago, but I have terrible spinal problems because of crashes, just like what happened to you. Crashes that were arranged. They were not accidents. There have been several of them over a period of years. And I have severe injuries that are now have resulted in a disability. And many years ago, I went to a doctor about when I had particularly severe pain, in my back. And guess what the guy told me? Well, you need orthopedic surgery. Orthopedic surgery. And I said, no, I'm not going to be getting orthopedic surgery. And I just walked out of the office. Well, guess what? I'm not well, but I don't need orthopedic surgery. You see?
Well, if it's in the spine, and what they do is they fuse the...
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And then you can't move.
Well, then you can't move. That's right. But the point is, they'll take anything, that could be handled another way, all right? Could be handled another way. And I have handled it.
Yeah, some people go to chiropractor, but chiropractor is not that good to get some actual results. Chiropractor is just a maintenance, and you have to go back there all the time. What you really need is a DO, not a chiropractor, a traditional DO that does manipulation, and then it can help.
Yes, that's right. Well, Dr. Carpenter, I've tried everything that I could get and could afford, and somehow or another, I've managed to survive, okay?
Right.
Orthopedic surgery. My point is, I didn't need orthopedic surgery. And this person didn't even see me as a person. The doctor, he didn't see me as a person. He saw me as some kind of cattle coming in. As soon as he heard about pain and he saw, you need orthopedic surgery. No. This is what they do. They're trained to just place everybody.
Hey, they make a lot of money out of that. That's why they do it.
But it's disgusting. It is disgusting. I can tell you right now, I would be a cripple now. I'm not a cripple. I have disabilities, but I can still function. I would be a cripple had I listened to any medical advice that I'd gotten over the period of years. I would be a cripple.
There is a laser method to handle it, but it's expensive. And a person that doesn't have insurance can't really afford it.
Well, no, I have no insurance. No insurance at all.
Right. But,
But your point, Dr. Carpenter, is so well taken that we all know this. They will grab anybody who, I hate to say it, but is stupid enough. Maybe that's the wrong word, but I don't know. Somebody thinks that anything that happens, any little thing, they've got to rush into a hospital.
I know.
And they're
it's just unbelievable. And the outcome, they keep you there. They say, oh, no, we try to get people out really fast because it's bad. Nah, Not true. Not
only that, but they'll drug you with something.
That's it. They pump you with drugs. Yeah. Yes. I know. And a couple of weeks ago, I had a similar case of a friend's wife that her blood pressure went skyrocketing out of control. And instead of working another way, he just brought her to the hospital. And, of course, they pumped her with so much medication and insisted that she had to continue taking it, otherwise she'll die, because she'll have a stroke. And she went home, and she is not operating like she used to. She's no longer the same person with all those medications. And making her unstable.
Well, the way I see it, Dr. Carpenter, it almost always, any case I know, it makes it worse. In fact, I canceled our recording yesterday due to illness. And you know what? It's a similar type of story. In other words, when you have stress, at least for me, when I have severe stress, and I am under very severe stress at the moment because of everything falling apart, because of having no money and being driven into this, state of affairs. And you know what? I was not well. And I recognized I'm not well today. So what did I do? I lay down and I rested, and I'm better today. Did I go rushing to a hospital? No.
No, because it's going to make it worse. It's just unbelievable. And talking about unbelievable, there is something that it's an article I read, and the date of the article is the 30th, so it just happened, okay? And it was a survey of what doctors do, and they say that they finally decided to level off the use, pay attention to this, it's unbelievable, of psychiatric drugs on preschoolers.
Preschoolers.
Can you believe that? Now they decide not to use them as much anymore. Leveling it off to preschooler, and then they're wondering why teenagers are so messed up. And get this.
That's unbelievable.
The research published online September 30th in the Journal of Pediatrics look at recent trend in the use of psychotropic medication, which are drugs that as you know, that alter the mood and the behavior, in children ages, get this, 2 to 5.
2 to 5 psychotropic drugs. That is truly outrageous.
That's criminal. Who even ever considered that? And they said that they were just using the drugs were used for stimulant or antidepressant to treat ADHD, okay? Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which to me is a man-created thing, okay?
That's
and
true.
They say it's a malarkey.
Yes, it is. And Dr. Carpenter, I've been through that with my own son. When he was in school, they tried to make a diagnosis by a non-qualified person. And I fought tooth and nail, and I put them in their place. I said, there's no chance you're going to put my son on any kind of drug. Oh, he's hyperactive. No, he's not. He's
a kid.
He's a kid. He has imagination and creativity.
And let him go and have a break. Instead, all the schools try to cut out the playtime in between classes, okay? They all try to cut that. Kids need to release their energy. And that's why all this diagnosis of ADHD.
Dr. Carpenter, it's a sinister plot. It really is.
It is to control kids, make a mess out of them.
To control kids, just like they're trying to control everybody else, So you will be compliant. You will conform.
Right.
Okay? And if you raise your child, as I did, in a home where I don't buy into that crap, okay? I encourage the creativity and self-reliance of doing what he wants to do, what he likes to do. Oh, they can't have that. They can't have that. They'll criticize the parent because you are not raising your child in such a way that he will comply.
Right. You have to comply. But so what they do, they use these drugs. But to me, age 2 to 5, I mean, to me, with that is the fault of the parent. What parent agrees to have their child be given these drugs?
An idiot. Only an idiot.
Well, I mean, the parent, to me, this is the rolling pin case. Or if you prefer, the skillet, iron skillet case, okay? You have in your hand an iron skillet or a rolling pin, and whoever suggests something like that, you let them have it. Actually, originally went as the umbrella case, and this is a true story, okay? And it might sound funny, but that's just to me what a parent should do. Now my daughter was little, and I was married to my first husband. He was assigned to Korea. It was an unaccompanied tour, but I went there anyway. And so I had to live on the economy, and I couldn't send my daughter to the school on post. I had to find a school on the economy, and I found this school run by an American. But it was expensive. But unfortunately, yes, the owner was an American, but he was hiring Korean teacher. So you can tell what kind of English, okay? But also, the Korean have this idea that kids should be disciplined and the teacher should discipline the kids. And they were hitting kids. And their favorite method is hitting them over the head. Okay? Now, my daughter was a really good kid, and she never ran into trouble. So I was pretty furious one day when she came home and said that the teacher hit her. Okay? To me, even a bad kid, you throw them out of the school, but you don't hit them. Okay? So
you
I
send them
went.
to the principal's office in the old days, right?
Well, they do now too, but I'm just saying this is Korea. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what they do. All right? Well,
Teacher
you
would
can
take
do
you out into the hall and paddle you back when I was in grade school.
Yeah, see, to me, that I was always against that kind of behavior. It's not their job.
I had one broken
Okay.
on my
it's not
butt
their
before.
job. It's not their right. You can't assault a child. That's not your right.
Well, this was Catholic school, though.
Oh, yeah.
They broke a paddle on me one day.
Oh,
And didn't your mother break their neck?
Well, no.
I would have.
So what happened is, the next day that incident happened, I went to the school. I went to the room and checked that was the teacher, and I had an umbrella in my hand, and I threatened her with the umbrella. Okay? Well, I mean, hey, the child is defenseless, and there was no excuse for her to do that. Well,
The
apparently,
parent is the defender of your own child.
yeah. And apparently, I scared the hell out of that teacher that she quit. Okay?
Good.
But she should not have done that. Well, the principal was
should not.
trying to say that I was just overreacting, and I was one of those dumb broads, having... And that was his attitude, hysterical mother and so. And he was talking to me with this overbearing attitude, and this stupid smile. I said, "You cut that out and wipe off that dumb broad smile."
That's right. That's right, Dr. Carpenter.
But anyway, then I took my daughter out of the school and got unfortunately to Catholic school, but that was the only alternative I had. But the Catholic school was better. When she was there, the principal was a nun, but she was really a nice lady. But what happened is that the principal of the school called my husband that was working at the DMZ, called him there and said that he wanted to talk to him because, I was hysterical and women they cannot handle the situation. And, my husband knew better, so he was, okay, I'll talk to you, but, And then, of course, he got the notice that I am taking my daughter out, and so it was no point in even trying to do anything. But what I'm saying is, though, when something like that happened, I used the rolling pin. And no, I didn't, the rolling pin method. I didn't have a rolling pin. I used the umbrella. But, you know, that's what you do. And if I had a doctor that even considered saying, oh, we're going to put this child, your child on psychotropic drugs, he would have been ended up with a huge bump on his head.
Well,
Okay?
yes, Dr. Carpenter, because the bottom line is this, that nobody, not the government, not the schools, nobody has a right to, quote, discipline your child with corporal punishment. It is not
with
right.
drugs.
Or with drugs. It's not their right. It's not their place. That's solely the decision of the parent.
Yeah,
Period.
but what kind of a stupid parent agrees to have the child take those drugs?
A very, very stupid parent, Dr. Carpenter.
Sick too, because
motorcycles in the background here, but a very stupid parent and somebody who is so indoctrinated by idiocy and fear, whatever the doctor says, whatever the school says, we'll do it. That is absolutely wrong.
The only thing I can tell you on that is that in the hype of the ADHD days between 2002 and 2006, 5 or 6 it says here. But anyway, at that point, my daughter, ex-husband, her first husband, was always trying to interfere and try to create problems with the kids and trying to prove that she was not fit so he could get custody and get money out of her. Okay? That was the plan. And so he was trying to get the school to put my grandson on ADHD medication. Okay? Have him diagnosed and put him on medication. And of course, you know, I was ready to kill. But the school, fortunately, concluded that the child was not ADHD and didn't need any medication. Probably they figured out what the man was up to in his plan or his resentment because he couldn't control him. He was nasty to the kids, and there was always visitation were always a disaster. But anyway, in that case, the school protected the child, but in many cases they don't. Anyway, what this article says that the prescription of these drugs to preschoolers have leveled off. They should totally be terminated. But they said the leveling off is probably due to greater awareness in part of physicians and by part of the physicians and the parents about the potential danger of some commonly prescribed medication. Potential
danger? There's no potential about it. It's
especially if a child that young.
It's extreme danger. You're messing with somebody's neurons in their brain. You're screwing up everything.
And they said because of the risk of heart problems.
Heart problems?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Is that from 2 to 5, they are really young. They are little. Are we kidding? Giving them this dangerous thing? It's just not a problem of. It's a danger for everything, not just heart problem. Everything. And then they wonder why, when they become teenagers, they become addicted to drugs.
Well, what they're doing is they're screwing up the whole mechanism.
Generation, yeah.
Screwing up everything. And again, it's all about control. Anything they try to control, whatever it may be, they always have an excuse. They have some idiotic reason of why they're doing this. But the bottom line, it's all about control. They have to force anybody into a controlled environment where nobody can stand up, nobody can speak out, nobody can be different, nobody can be an individual because you don't comply with what we say you must do.
15 seconds.
Okay. So, but we got no time left, so we can continue after the break.